Hello and welcome back to another video of Shoot the Ball. A disappointing performance yesterday by Arsenal. Um, I think a lot of people will take positives out of it because we did get a draw with quite a depleted squad, or a depleted team at least, especially the way we ended the game. But yeah, like for me, it's definitely a disappointing draw, right? Given that we took the lead twice, we're at home. I think some silly mistakes we made as well that led us to conceding those two goals, um, and just I don't know. Like I feel like that's a game we should be winning, right? Especially in a title race. Um, because going back to Anfield is never easy, right? It's one of the most difficult grounds to go to in England, and yeah, it's the third last game of the season or so, but you never know. Like that game could be a decider for the title. Um, and I feel if we won this game, you take points off your rivals. It makes a massive impact on the title race. Look, let's just go through the game real quick. So obviously, I think all Arsenal fans were ecstatic when we saw Timber and Saka in the starting lineup. I said this on South Show. We needed both of them to play because we needed someone really solid to lock up Salah. And that's what we were hoping Timber would do, and he did that perfectly. Like the 75 minutes he played, honestly, Salah was no threat. Like the only threat we had from Salah was that um, shot he took from outside the box, which Moreno gave him. Like Moreno screwed up that chance and or miscontrolled the ball, and it went to Salah, and he had um, what you would expect is an open shot for someone of his quality, even if it's outside the box. And he couldn't even get it on target. But outside that, Timber absolutely locked him up, right? So obviously having Timber was a big, big boost, and it paid off. And then Saka, on the other hand, star boy. That goal he scored is, for me, one of the goals of the season so far. Like controlling that ball and just like the cut in he did, and the way he just blasted that goal at the roof of the net. Some people are like, oh, if Allison was there, he could have closed them down or could have stopped it. Bruh, no keeper stopping that. Absolutely no keeper stopping that, because it's not like he cut past Robertson and then went a bit forward. Like he cut past Robertson and blasted the ball immediately. So um yeah, for me there's no question it was a fantastic shot, a fantastic goal. Um so it helped us start the game really well because the goal came in the ninth minute, and I thought from there on we're gonna go and continue to dominate and create more chances and obviously press Liverpool. And unfortunately it was quite disappointing that we didn't see that, right? And um as we kept playing a bit more defensive, I said it in the watch along with Saad. I told Saad that, listen, if we keep defending this way, Liverpool is not Crystal Palace, right? They're not Brentford, they're not West Ham. Like if you sit back and give them all that possession, they have two, three players who can put in a good cross, and they have other players who can get in at the end of that cross, right? So teams like Man City, like Liverpool, um, they're not teams you want to sit back against, because they play against teams that sit back against them every week. Now, yes, we have a better defense usually than most teams, so they will obviously struggle a bit more, but they have threats that they can exploit when it comes to set pieces and crosses. And Lord behold, that's exactly what happened. Exactly what happened. They get a corner in the 30 something minute. Before that, they had no shots, no attempts, no serious threats. And then they freaking get the corner, and poor defending by us, letting Luis Diaz win the first header and then letting Van Dijk get a clear an easy header as well into goal. Partey should have done better, but Diaz should not even be winning that first header, in my opinion. We can go a step behind. I don't even think the corner should have happened if we freaking kept pressing and continued on the forefront. And that's one big criticism I have of Arteta. As much as I back him and as much as I think he's done a good job over the last he's done a good job over the last couple of years, but I don't like how we play like cowards sometimes. Like we score the first goal, whether it's at home or away. It's not even like this is a thing that we do away from home, or it's something we do only against big teams. Like when we score that first goal, actually it's mainly against big teams, because against teams like Leicester and all, I feel like we continue attacking sometimes. But when we play against a big team, we score the first goal, we start really well, we are on the front foot, and for whatever reason we sit back. And this is why I don't see us like unless a big team absolutely crumbles against us, I don't see this Arteta team smashing a big team, even though we have opportunities to do it. We need to trust our team a lot more. Like, and I think that's where our defensive masterclass sometimes gets a bit overhyped by us, right? Because when we sit back like that for so long, even at home against big teams, we look defensively solid, but all we're doing is we're just being extremely cautious, right? And that extreme caution sometimes pays off, and we end up seeing the game, but a lot of times it bites us in the ass. And I think in this Liverpool game, it bit us in the ass. People will talk about injuries and how, like, obviously, like, certain players came off, and we'll come to the second half, obviously, but they'll talk about like how some injuries affected us this game. And look, absence of Saliba, Odegaard, and Calafiori 100% had an impact. But the way we started the game, it didn't look like we were missing these guys. It looked like we were gonna kill Liverpool the way we were starting. And then obviously we let them dominate possession. They get a corner, they score from it, and as soon as they score, we take over again. Like a fire lights up in our ass, and it's like, yeah, you know what? We need to go and attack again. We need to go on the forefront one more time. And I don't understand why we have to sit back when we're leading, especially when the momentum is on our side. I remember some of these games like United and Chelsea a couple of seasons ago, like 6-7 years ago, under Wenger, when we were winning like 3-0 or 2-0 in the first half itself, or 3-0 in the first half against United in 2015, 2016. And in 2016, 2017, I think the same thing against Chelsea. I think we were winning 3-0 in the first half as well, right? And the reason we were able to do that is because we just kept pressing, we kept attacking, we kept pressuring them, we kept putting them on a chokehold. Because when you see a team is like getting in a bit nervous, and they clearly looked nervous. Liverpool clearly looked nervous. They were making a lot of passing errors. They were giving the ball away cheaply. Van Dijk obviously was clearly not like focused and not in his right state of mind. The way he was fouling Kai Havertz, he should have got a booking for that. I thought he should have been sent off for that, but he didn't even get a yellow card, which is crazy. You could clearly tell these guys were nervous the way they started the game. And we obviously exploited that and got the goal. I don't get why we took our foot off the accelerator. We just like applied the brakes. After they equalized, we started pressing again. We got the chance with Mikel Merino, who went in with his leg and obviously fell and hurt his shoulder. He should have scored. I don't know how he missed that chance. And lucky for us, we get another set piece. Beautiful cross by Declan Rice. Again, people talk about, oh, this guy's not a good passer. Bruh. Suck your mom. Genuinely. If you think Declan Rice cannot pass the ball well, you're an absolute idiot. Is he a Tony Cruz or a Xavi or a freaking Andre Pirlo? Of course not. But he is a good passer of the ball. This is why he's the main set piece taker for us when it comes to the left-sided corners or most set pieces. Because he can whip in good crosses, good accurate crosses. He did it the first time, and Moreno missed that chance. It's not a coincidence that he got it the second time to Moreno again. Beautiful header by Moreno. This time he gets his goal. We end the first half 2-1 up. I was gassed, man. I genuinely was gassed because I thought the way we were playing, the way we ended the first half, if we don't repeat the mistake of the first half where we take the lead and go defensive, we can go get a third goal early in the second half and kill this game. And that's where I wouldn't mind playing defensive and playing on the counter. But then, just like that, second half, same thing. We sit back. We let Liverpool have all the possession, which is super frustrating. The funny thing is, their equalizer didn't come from us sitting back, right? But that's only because a couple of things. Obviously, Gabriel gets injured early in the second half, which 100% affected us. Kivior came on and he did okay, but he's no Gabriel. Like, he might do well in some one-on-one duels or in some slide tackles here and there. But one elite thing about Gabriel and about Saliba is that they read the passes really well. They read the attacks really well. And they intercept the ball before it even comes to the other player, before it comes to the opponents. And when Gabriel went off in the 54th or 55th minute, for me, like, it was only a matter of time before Liverpool get like some serious chances. And then add to that the headache of Timber getting an injury as well and coming off. Yeah, like it looked horrendous from there onwards, because we were going to play the last 15 minutes with freaking Skelly and Kivior on the as the left-sided defense, right? And the support they were getting is Martinelli, who defensively was doing well. Everything else, he was the worst player on the pitch. The worst player on the pitch. And the reason we conceded, because it was his horrendous ball control and Konate picking the ball off him for like the millionth time in the second half, that led to that Liverpool counterattack, and they obviously scored from it. Brilliant ball by Trent Alexander-Arnold. You expect that from someone like him. I know he's not done it a lot this season, but when he pings some of these balls, like, you know, they're dangerous. And Darwin Núñez obviously chose the right pass. Salah made a beautiful run to the left. And in such a scenario, by the way, I wish Ben White left Darwin Núñez and just ran with Salah, right? Now, I know some of you might think that's crazy, because then Darwin Núñez is one-on-one on goal and can score. But if he doesn't do that, if Ben White doesn't run with Salah, I'd rather have Darwin Núñez get that chance versus Ben White standing where he stood to try and stop Darwin Núñez or try to intercept the pass, only for Salah to get an easy tap in. Because the real threat is Salah, not Darwin Núñez. I would rather bank on Darwin Núñez going one-on-one with Raya and taking that shot and hoping that he misses, which has happened many times before, versus trying to close down Darwin Núñez or trying to stand in the middle, stop a Darwin Núñez square ball, and obviously in the end Salah gets an easy tap in, because Salah will score that tap in 10 times out of 10, right? So it was horrendous decision by no, sorry, not a horrendous decision by Ben White, but I think a poor decision there. The other thing I would have expected him to do is maybe like wait for the right time and just pounce and intercept the pass from Darwin Núñez. I think someone like Saliba probably could have read that pass a lot better and moved at the right time. But obviously, look, I can't blame Ben White that much. I just think a top quality world-class centre-back would have done that. Ben White, I know he's not a centre-back. At least he's not been for like two seasons with us now. And he's playing this position for the first time in years, but in 2 years at least. But yeah, like someone like Saliba or even Gabriel would have stopped that. I think if we had Gabriel and Timber on the pitch at that time, I don't even think Liverpool get that ball, because I think Timber might have intercepted that pass from Trent Alexander-Arnold, and if not, I think Gabriel would have closed down Darwin Núñez and let Ben White deal with Mohamed Salah. But obviously, Kivior was nowhere to be seen. And even though I said that we were like defending after we took the lead, especially in the second half, we were sitting back the whole time. That particular chance, we were not defending. We went up, and obviously Liverpool exploited that chance when they got the counter-attack. Funny enough, it was the last 10 minutes. That's exactly when I would have said sit back, right? Now, I know you guys would say hindsight is 2020, and you said press first, and now you're saying sit back and defend. But it all depends on the context of the game, right? If you're winning and you scored the first goal in the 9th minute, you don't sit back for the remaining like 20-30 minutes in the first half, right? And if you took a lead at the end of the first half, you don't freaking sit back for 20-30 minutes in the second half, which is exactly what happened. But when it comes to the last 10 minutes, and we have Kivior and Skelly on the pitch, then yes, I would say sit back. The moment Timber got injured in the 75th minute, I would have just sat back and played on the counter, right? And for some reason, when we were supposed to do that, we didn't. So poor decisions. I think Arteta cost us this game with his bad management, in my opinion. Yes, of course, we can always look at injuries. 100%, it didn't help that we had 3 starting 11 players out from the beginning of the game, and then 2 others went out in the second half, which put us at a massive disadvantage. But I think Arteta could have managed this game a lot better. And unfortunately, he didn't do that. So that ended up costing us points. Look, I will say this, though, because I have seen this all over, like on Twitter and many other places, that Arsenal like are gonna struggle to be in the title race and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's absolute crap. Like, we're 5 points behind City. It's not the end of the world. We were 5 points behind Liverpool last season, and we put a 10-point swing on them. I know City is not Liverpool, fair enough, but they have some difficult games coming in. And the reality is, if we can get past the next 2 games, that is Newcastle and Chelsea, and if we win both, I know it's gonna be difficult because both are away from home. If we get these injured players back, so hopefully Saka is obviously fit to play. Hopefully Timber is back. I don't know about Gabriel. I think he will be out for that game. But if we can win our next two games, especially the next game, Newcastle, because I think by Chelsea, we should have Odegaard back. Timber should be back. Who knows, depending on the news of Gabriel and Calafiori, they might make it. Let's see. I think we can beat Chelsea as well, right? And as long as we end those two games, still 5 points behind whoever is top. So even if we lose them, but then City also drop points, I think we have a very good chance. Because if you look at our fixtures after the Chelsea game, so after Chelsea, we've got Forest at home, should be winning that. West Ham away, I don't care if they beat United yesterday, we should definitely be beating West Ham at their ground. United at home, news obviously came out that they sacked Ten Hag. Doesn't really matter. I don't think Ruud van Nistelrooy is going to make some magic that gets them to suddenly start performing like giants. We definitely should be beating them at the Emirates regardless. Fulham away, tricky, but we definitely can win that 100%. Everton at home should be an easy win. Crystal Palace away, we've been winning there last couple of seasons. Again, I don't see why they would beat us. Definitely should be winning that. Ipswich at home, easy win. Brentford away, I think it should be a good win. Brighton away, we've won there the last 2 seasons. We should be winning that ground. Tottenham at home, 100% a win. And Villa at home. Tricky, but we should be beating them. Right? I'm not going to keep going. Okay, and then we've got Wolves away. Again, we should be winning that. And then Man City at the Emirates. So up until we face Man City, genuinely, I look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 games we should be winning. I'm going to comfortably say minimum 10 games. Minimum 10 of those 12 we should be winning. Minimum. So if we end the Chelsea game still 5 points behind City, and then we win at least 10 out of the remaining 12, and let's say we draw 2. By the way, I think we should be winning all 12. I genuinely think we should be winning all 12. But this is the Premier League. There are some fixtures that could be slippery, especially like away to Fulham, away to maybe Crystal Palace or Brentford, one of them, which is why I'm going to say maybe. Home games, we should be winning every game. I don't care if it's United, Spurs, Villa. We should 100% be winning all home games. If we win 10 of those 12 games, and let's say we draw 2, right? That's 32 points, right? 32 points out of 36 games. That puts us in a very, very good spot, because I don't think Man City are going to necessarily go on like 10 to... I don't think they're going to win like 10 out of their 12 games. Because if you look at Man City's fixtures are difficult. Liverpool as well, obviously, but I'm going to look mainly at Man City because I think they are our main challenges. I know Liverpool have been amazing this season, but I still think there could potentially be a drop-off in the second half. Whereas Man City, we've seen them do it again and again. So Man City, the next game is Bournemouth away, a tricky fixture for a lot of teams. Then they've got Brighton away, another difficult fixture. Then they've got Spurs at home. They'll probably win that easy. Liverpool away, so one of them will definitely drop points. Forest at home, they'll win that. Crystal Palace away. Crystal Palace is a bogey team for them, so it could trouble them. Then they've got United at Etihad. They'll win that comfy. Villa away, they got dominated there last season. Everton at home, they'll probably win that. West Ham at home, they'll win that. Leicester away, they'll win that. Brentford away, they should win. Ipswich away, they should win. And then they've got Chelsea at their ground, at Etihad, and then Arsenal away, right? So when I look at their fixtures, I think they could drop points at Villa away. I think they could drop points away against Bournemouth, and I think they can drop points away against... I'm not going to say Brighton, because away against Liverpool, right? That's 3 games they can drop points, and I think they could lose 2 of them. Genuinely, I think they could lose 2 of them. They have scraped games. They have scraped certain wins, which, yes, is a mark of champions, especially with some of the injuries they have, 100%. The fact that they've scraped some wins against Southampton, bottom of the league, against Wolves, bottom of the league, against Fulham, not bottom of the league, but they were very lucky to get away with a win against Fulham after Adama Traore missed 3 sitters in front of goal. And obviously they drew against Newcastle. I think they will struggle in some of these games, right? I would have said Tottenham at the Etihad as well if Tottenham were in good form, but they just crap. Like, they'll probably slap Tottenham. So I think if we win 10 out of those 12 games that I mentioned after the Chelsea game, assuming we're still like 5 points behind City by that time, I genuinely think we'll close that gap. We'll probably be level on points with City, if not ahead of them, by the time we face them at the Emirates. And when we face them at the Emirates, if we have a full team then, a full starting 11, I promise you, we are 100% going to win that game. 100%. Because City cannot handle us. They cannot cope with us. They haven't been able to beat us in the last 4 games in the Premier League. Or, sorry, 3 games in the Premier League. 4 if you count the Community Shield. But yeah, the last 3 games in the Premier League, they've not been able to beat us. So I'm 100% confident if we have our full team that game, we 100% win that game. And if we are ahead of them already, we open up a gap. If we're not ahead of them, if we're level or a point behind them, we go ahead of them. Right? And I think from there could be a very, very good swing, because our fixtures, honestly, from then on until the end of the season are quite favorable, except for United away and Liverpool away. And Liverpool away is the last game of the season. So hopefully by that time, if we have like a 3-4 points buffer on whoever's second, it won't really matter as much. So yeah, look, it's gonna be tricky, but can we do it? For sure. We need these injured players back. Luckily, we don't have any injured player who's like out for the rest of the season. I think even Gabriel and Calafiori, I think at worst case scenario, they'll be out for max 3 weeks. They'll probably be back after the international break if it is an injury that'll keep them out for a couple of weeks. I honestly assume that we might even see Gabriel sooner. I think Gabriel might even be there for Chelsea. So hopefully we'll get news obviously soon, but until then, I don't think it's that bad. But yeah, look, disappointing yesterday, but it's not the time to panic. We still have a very good team, and there's still a lot of games to play. So let's get those points. But obviously, on to Newcastle next. Preston before that, but generally Preston North End. If when it comes to that game, I would start our entire second team, and I would not bring any main players off the bench. None. Like I would play the kids as well if we need to. So none of the main players should play, and none of the main players should even be coming off the bench. But yeah, let's see how it goes. Anyways, big up, guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video. And see you guys next time. Take care.